Hello everyone, so the second video about the tables of pattern. The table of patterns. So it's more precisions, cognitive math, really to connect the things about OPS, and being the intermediary, basically, between the types at the top that have the symbolic charge of the categories, to the bottom that will be more something that will be more brain scan alike, AI, very precise, more ST. So I do think that the table of patterns, whatever form that will take, actually, I think that maybe my stuff will be just a little bit of what the intermediary will look like. I don't think maybe in the future it will be vastly different. I don't actually know. Just my attempt to do the intermediary. And I do think that my stuff is still good enough to be the in between those two, between the types that are more generalities, more symbolic charge, and the precision at the bottom that is more about the pathways. We will see more the kind of sequence of a person that is doing in the brain, let's say. It's more cognitive rather than instinctual that we will see. But yeah, the tables of patterns share that with the pathways at the bottom that is more cognitive alike. It's more something that actually the MBTI community is more about, like the position order or even the ambivert kind of respect more that kind of math. But yeah, me there's a lot of cognitive math, cognitive math, in the sense that you can analyze, okay, that type of ambivert animal, that type of optimistic connecting to the other optimistic. That's really interesting, to be honest, for that one. And I guess the position is more something that I rewrite with MBTI from my old MBTI school that I was in. That I do see the value now, and I do see that in reality manifesting, even though it has some nuance that I might not get into this video, but I hope I will get maybe a little bit. But yeah, for example, the INFJ and the ENFP. So in OPS, there's the sleep animal, the play animal, the blast animal, and the consume animal. Me, I kind of introduced those three new animals, let's say. There are more to say that the stack is real. It's more to really anchor the fact that the stack is there. Yeah, and that it will always be the same. So ENFP, they can change a lot in their stack. They can be consume play, they can be play blast consume, they can be a lot of things, but they have to be OE first, though. But they can have a lot of stacks. I think it's like 8 stacks. Yeah, each type in OPS has 8 stacks. But me, the ambivert and most to say that it will always be NF consume first for the ENFP. So the ambivert is always that. The optimistic is always play for an ENFP, even if it's demon, even if whatever. And pessimistic is always that. And same thing for every type, or the INFJ, that will be always that. So you can say ambivert's more the 2 primary function. Optimistic is more the same charge as the dominant. We can say it's the first and the third functions. And pessimistic, you can say is the second or fourth function, or the opposite charge of the first function. So that can get very complicated with my position order, because MBTI wise, each function has kind of a role, and I do write that to some degree. Like we can go in my website. Yeah, the ambivert function, the first function, is its opposite charge, and different this other observer. So it's always the first two. They are creative in deconstruction and conclusion, but balance. So they always have a ground. They always have a ground, but they are creative in how they deconstruct and conclude things, because they are kind of different. They have the opposite chart and the different observer and decider. So it's more in kind of fashion that they are creative, let's say. It's more a strategic flow. It's the strongest animal innately, even if it's cringe and prone to blind spot. So it will always be the case for all ENFP to some degree, even though some might have more pull, some more confidence, some more symbolic charge that are positive or negative, but there's always that kind of thing going on. Okay? And optimistic is more the first and the same charge as the first. So creative in construction and open to challenge but childish. So it's more in that fashion that they are optimistic, that they are childlike, but they still construct, and they kind of construct in a loop. So it's actually more something that I agree with MBTI in some fashion. Those three. Strongest animal in good times or coping times. So those two animals cope a lot. It's actually, for me, it's actually more NE and TE. That's actually cope. It's actually not my FI that I see. And in good times, it seems that those two functions are actually the strongest. It's really the optimistic attitude of how they manifest. So yeah, and I have to say that tables of patterns is more something cognitive. It's less instinctive. While OPS is more something that is instinctive, that is a deeper structure of motivation. While the tables of pattern will address more some kind of cognitive abilities, which is so that's why it's intermediary actually, because the top, symbolic type is more like the top in the sense of perception, but in the sense of organization of an organism is more at the bottom actually, with the instincts and the motivation. Not to make that super complex, but yeah, it's more that. And the intermediary, the tables of patterns, more something cognitive alike. Yeah, so it's more actually in the middle for both the perception and the organism, let's say. So yeah, pessimistic is more the opposite chart of the optimistic function. Creative in spiral and a closing off of barriers. So also coping with that, the closing off of barriers. It's more conscious flow. So oftentimes the pessimistic animal, you're very conscious of it. So it's a very strong animal in our times. It's like you access nuggets of information there. Okay. So now I can maybe talk. Maybe the position actually. It might be too long of a video, but just say that the last one is actually more the trigger. The third one is more a pointer. It's more it's on the border of the conscious awareness and bring clarity to the mind. It's more something that is that has a lot of insecurity actually, but it can bring clarity and a way to ground yourself. It's kind of balance. I have to say that my position order is not the same as the ambivert and the optimistic and the pessimistic. So that's where it's become complex. So we talk about that. Like the first one is it's actually not complex. It's just that okay, the stack that is pessimistic, that's optimistic, that's ambivert, and I have some definition like I told you. They're not the most fleshed out and the best definition, but I think that if you read that, they actually what I think in general. The position is more tricky in the sense that I'm not reinventing the wheel. Like a lot of it is like MBTI in the sense of the position, but me I had an extra step in the sense that I have 24 stacks. So I don't know, INFJ they can be that. It can be a word type like that, etc. And I think they have actually 4 types. Yeah, they have 4 types. What the fuck? Yeah, so there are 4 types. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? So, and they will all hold the same dominant actually. So we will have the charge maker, the dominant, let's say the charge maker in the sense that it will make the ambivert, the optimistic, and the pessimistic. The second, it's more instrumentalized. instrumentalization. Now it's more something that all MBTI schools talk about, the tool functions. It's more a playfulness, more a ground-like. It's more informative in some sense. And it's oftentimes, like I said, it's kind of sloppy, but it balances itself with the third one, which I call the balance, the pointer, which is more hobby. It's more something that you develop. It's actually something that need some conscious effort to build up, because the only way that a person is kind of building up the third function is actually because it's childish, and in challenge you do this one, but it's more like it's automatic in a sense, and you only know that it exists, and it's only in good times or coping time that you utilize that, but you don't have an utilization of it that is good. It's more hobby-like, it's more hobby-like and childish, little insecurity, but it's actually the one that brings clarity if you balance it out with the second, and if you use it in a good fashion. And yeah, it's more a negation and a pointer. That will depend for, yeah, you can say that it depends for a lot of types of INFJ. And yeah, the same thing with the helper. But the helper is oftentimes classic, FE or TI. And the position order will change based on your OPS type. And between all the stacks you can have in OPS, most of the time there's like 4 stacks that will be kind of normal, let's say, for your type. Or 2 normal stacks and 2 stacks that are somewhat normal. I don't know, like an INFJ that is like that. Like the most prevalent stack, naturally, it must be maybe this one. You will see a lot of this one too, and some of this one, and so like there's third, and maybe like a weird one that this will be somewhat INFJ alike, because in my system, this one is sort of ISTP alike, but some ISTP will be very INFJ alike, like this one. It can be considered maybe that. So overall, there's actually 4 kind of stacks for each type in OPS that I've observed, somewhat, and yeah, they will have the charge maker and all that, but it's pretty rare actually. So I've seen that, so I think it's either me that typing not good enough with the position or order, because it's more qualitative alike, it's more cognition alike. So that's why the tables of patterns is more something that is more messy. The intermediary is more messy in the sense that the top, the symbolic type, is more like okay, categories, we know them, they have the charge. It cannot be wrong in the sense that they will still obey some kind of charge in a category. So in some sense, you cannot be wrong with that. And the bottom with the pathways is more something that will be AI, brain scam, and you cannot make an error there. But the intermediary is where it's really hard, and we have to be really strategic about it. So that's why I have a lot of tools, a lot of T tools and E tools, but like I'm still figuring that out. It's not something, a theory that it's really fleshed out. But yet, theoretically, I have seen one. Like I've seen some people with that stack being that. So it's like, I don't know. But maybe in the future, when I will type better with that, the tables of patterns, it will show that it's not right. It's actually not the case. But yeah, so that's the position order. Yeah, valuable in the sense that you can really do cognitive math. The cognitive math is more something with that you can say ambivert DE or ambivert feeling. Ambivert feeling, they will all be feelers, kind of top saviors. And so you can say, you can do a lot of math with that. It's kind of hard to explain, and I don't want to lose everyone there, but you can do a lot of crazy shit with that. And I guess you can say, like, okay, what have SFP and ENFP in common? A lot of people would just say FI, OE, You say, oh, just the leader there, you know, the real noob people. But what they have in common, if you do that with my tables of patterns, it's even better in a way. You can say ambivert. You can say ambivert fi and ambivert optimistic. Oh my god, I will not write it out. Optimistic intuition. So okay, they have optimistic intuition, ENFP, and you know ISFP. They're optimistic. They also have optimistic intuition. So you can do a lot of cognitive math like that, and with time we will know what it will mean. With time we will know what it will mean, and that will make the bridge easier to the pathways map of the precise pathways. And it does connect to the symbolic type above. So it's more in the sense that it will help. The position of there is more qualitative, like I said, but they still obey the sense that they are within a particular OPS type. So I do connect it to OPS types, but I try to decipher, okay, in experience and the dealing with people in my life, okay, this one for some reason, okay, same type, okay, there. What is the difference? Maybe social type 1 or something. Okay, this one for some reason, okay, they are the same type, but a little difference there, okay. Maybe it's experience, maybe something like that. I'm not sure the position is about experience, so that's why I say it's the middle ground. I still don't know if it's the experience of the person, just the experience you're shaping their brain, if it's really their symbolic type. Like what is going on there. So I still try to figure it out with some kind of position order. Whatever that means, I still have some definition. They are not so fleshed out. We will see with time, you know. It's more in my sense for me right now. So yeah, I hope I'm clear. I try to be as clear as possible, but I know that's really difficult. Maybe not. Oh, the animal survives. Okay, so now the 12 animals, more something there. No, it's more something that people do like in OPS, that they say, okay, they both have a direction, let's say. That you have the consume that start with OE and DI. I mean, I can do it better actually. Like we have the OE and DI. So there's kind of two consume, like the consume that start with DI, that goes there, and we have the consume that start with OE and that goes there. I do think that's also a connection to the pathways, more precise pathways, because with time we will have a person and we will see in their brain in some fashion. No, I don't think it can be that precise, because I do believe that, you know, symbolic type is actually more valuable in terms of expressing the categories and the intuitive patterns and the experience of the person. But I do think it precision, it can give actually some valuable insight in the sense that we will know the particular sequence of the person. So we will be able to map, I don't know, this person is doing that, I guess you can say play, blast, sleep. We will have some crazy shit like that. To say that the person start with OE, goes to DI, okay, DI to OI, OI to DI, okay, it does the DI to OE, okay, OE to DE, DE to OI. We'll kind of have something crazy like that, and we'll have the pathways probably of certain sequences. Okay, this person does a lot that OE to DI, DI to OI first, like in their life, like, okay, that's really something. I don't know, we can say maybe we will make more something later akin, more okay, that for some reason this person has a lot of kind of that pathways, and after it goes to any a lot or something like that. Oh my god. But I wish you can understand what I'm trying to say about the sequences. And yeah, I do think that's more something that the pathways will talk about. And the job of the tables of patterns will be more to address the 12 animals, and yeah, to really establish the differences. So the one that are start with OI will be more observer alike, more irrational, more about the information, while the one starting with the decider is more rational, starting about the decision. I should say decision actually, kind of the wrong sheet. And you know, it's more an animal that is more about contemplation. This one is more about analyze. So we will have some subtype of things like that in my sense. And with that, we will actually see the difference between people. And now we can say there's so much type that you will have a symbolic type, the position order, kind of the 64 stacks. Maybe you're within a family within those. And the animal stack would be more personalized. I do think that it's not really valuable in terms of categories. I do think that the OPS type like that is significant enough, and you don't want something that long. But I do think that's will offer the bridge to the more precise stuff. So the 12th animal might be valuable for that. And I do think that they will showcase some difference between people of the same type. And particularly in the sense of the sequences, like I illustrate, you know, it's like okay, I'm doing a lot of OE, DI to OI for, I don't know, a ENFP, or okay, for some reason, my play is very developed, my kind of pathways for my type, I don't know why. It's more something like that. It will offer the bridge to more precise pathways that, in my sense, artificial intelligence will help, because I don't think someone will want to be a technician really analyzing the brain of a person or really mapping that very long process. I think it will be a very, very long process with the pathways, kind of connecting all the different sequences, all the different animals, all that. And I don't think it's an error in some sense to connect the brain to some type of symbolic parts. I do think that the symbolic types, they transcend that, but I do think that we will still see, in my sense, it's not my opinion, it's just I think that this will happen, that we will try to map that even more precisely. And even though I think it's an error to some degree, because the symbolic type will address the generalities and all the, you know, the categorical expansion, you can say. The precise pathways will still help in some fashion in our day-to-day life, and how you address the sequence, and really. But I think at this point, it will be more something that is really a personal development. That we will have the top that will address the things very generally, and your vision, and your growth, and the precise one that will more something more about okay, how you, where we can actually pinpoint the thing and help kind of destroy the blockage and your sequence or your abnormality that might help you kind of bridge the gap to certain sequences. So that's more how I see it, but I know it's pretty complex, to be honest, and I hope I was clear in that. But yeah, I think I will do a videos about the pathways, not now, but another day. So yeah, so thanks for watching.